Yo, sciatic nerve pain sucks. But there's a few things that can be done about it. Sciatica it can take a really long time to deal with, depending on severity, lifestyle, what we do, so on and so forth. Sitting on a couch or in a chair where there's like this lordosis happening, right? Like put this curvature in our lower back. Yo, that's man, that can really do some gnarly stuff for sciatica. What we have on our feet can really mess with sciatic nerve situation, sciatica, whatever we want to call it. Having our heels up, down, heel drops, heel lifts, depending on what's going on with our arch, that can all affect it too. But in my experience personally and with people that I've worked with to try to alleviate sciatica, a lot of it has to do with where we sit, what we sit on, how often we do it, so on and so forth. There's a lot that can be done. And stretching, and I'll get into that, can be super helpful. It's probably going to be a little painful to start working with the sciatic nerve. But there's some other stuff we can do, like that almost feels more immediately beneficial or pain relieving than the stretch. So with that, the thing we want to check in about is this muscle that's like deep in the gluteus maximus in that that butt complex, deep in the butt. It's called the piriformis. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but it's pretty far out, far in there, and we can reach that like with some trigger point sort of stuff, and that's what I'm going to show you right now, right? So I use these alpha balls. This is almost the size of a softball, and a softball might actually work all right too. It's softer. It's a hard rubber and whatnot. And you can use this like all on your legs and stuff, and I'll show you that too. But the piriformis, right? So it's somewhere in this area, right? And you'll find it like you can poke in there, use your fists and elbow, or someone else's elbow, maybe your partner's elbow or friend's elbow to get in there and be like, oh shit, that is sensitive. It like almost feels like a pressure point or a nerve, or almost maybe like you're getting tickled or something, and something like that. So what you can do, you can even try it with a softball, a smaller ball, maybe a lacrosse ball. Tennis balls kind of tend to squish when you put pressure on them, but put that up against the wall if you have a wall, right? I'm gonna get it there. And you're just gonna like move around like this. Like kind of rotate your hips in a circle up and down. Try to stay off the bones, because that might just end up making you sore in the long run. But then eventually you'll find that, and when you find the piriformis, you'll know it. Like I got it right there. And I do this often, so I'm not reacting in any bit of in too intensive a way. But I remember when I first started doing this, I was like, oh man. Or after like I drive across the country or something, or spend all day driving up the coast, I do this and it's very sensitive. One side might be more sensitive than the other. And that like manifests in different ways, right? Like it's not just the sciatic nerve, it's all the nerve bundles and muscular complexes in our body on either particular side. Like sometimes what might be viewed as a sciatic nerve issue might actually be stemming from the arch, or it might be stemming from something that's happened with your ankle, your knee, even your toes, so on and so forth. So that's something to work on, to consider too. So I'm going to get it on this other side. This is my primarily challenging side. The right side, I've had a lot of injuries over the years. Right there. For me, I'm feeling it like maybe like 4 or 5 inches lower than the hip. Right there, that hip point, and right there. You roll over it. And when you find it, you can apply pressure and push into there. It almost feels like you're gonna bruise, and that's not really that big of a deal. Um, or you can like just roll over it, whatever works. Just get in there, and that's the first step, in my opinion and experience, in working out sciatic nerve pain. This shit's juicy. All right.